Jai Om Spa Param Superibrajagacharya Suttar Sadasman Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananda Guru Swami Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Thakur Ki Jai Prem Se Kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivacharya Gaur Bhakti Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Radha Krishna Gaur Sam Kund Radha Kundi Ki Jai Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Navadip Dham Ki Jai Ganga Mai Ki Jai Yamuna Mai Ki Jai Tulsi Devi Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Navadip Bhakti Vrinda Ki Jai. All glories to Krishna. All glories to Krishna. All glories to Krishna. Thank you very much. Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Ajopi San Avyayatma Bhutana Ishvaro Api San Prakritim Swam Adhisthaya Sambhavami Atma Mayaya Ajopi Sannavyayatma
Bhutanamishvaropi san
Prakritim Swamadhisthaya Sambhavami Atmamayaya Ajopi Sannavyayatma Bhutanamishvaropi san Prakritim Swamadhisthaya Sambhavami Atmamayaya Ajopi Sannavyayatma Bhutanamishvaropi san Prakritim Swamadhisthaya Sambhavami Atmamayaya Ajaha Unborn Api Although Son Being so Avyaya Without deterioration Atma Body Bhutanam All those who are born Ishvaraha The Supreme Lord Api Although Son Being so Prakritim Transcendental form Swam Of myself Adhisthaya Being so situated Sambhavami I do incarnate Atmamayaya By my internal energy Translation. Although I am unborn, and my transcendental body never deteriorates, and although I am the Lord of all sentient beings, I still appear in every millennium in my original transcendental form.
So, Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, explaining the method of his appearance and disappearance. People do not know it. Just like the sun, because we do not see at night, formerly some people used to think the sun is now dead or gone. But later on, by scientific method, they have come to know the sun is always in the sky. Due to our different position, we do not see the sun at night. Otherwise, the sun is there. If this is possible for an ordinary material thing, how much it is greatly possible for the Supreme Spirit. Therefore, Ajopi, son, Krishna has no birth, no death. We have also no birth and death, because we are part and parcel of Krishna. We have no birth and death, that is explained already in the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Na jayate na mriyate va kadachit, na hannate hannamane sarire. So, if the part and particles, a small atomic particle, we are atomic particle. Our magnitude is described in the Shastra, Padma Purana and Upanishad also. Kesagra satobhagasya satadha kalpitasya cha. The top portion of the hair, if you divide it into 100 parts, and again that 100th part, if you divide again 100 parts, that is the magnitude of the spirit soul. Kesagra satobhagasya satadha kalpitasya cha jiva bhaga savijñaya cha anantaya kalpate. So we, living entities, a small particle, very atomic small particle, 1/10,000 part of the top of the hair. It can simply be imagined. We are achinta. But we understand from Vedic literature what is the magnitude. It is not nirakar. That is not a fact. It has got akar. But at our present position, material condition, we cannot measure it. And because we cannot measure it, just like in geometry I have studied, that point has no breadth and length. But actually there is breadth and length, but we cannot measure it. Similarly, the magnitude of the spirit soul is smaller than the point. We cannot measure it with our material measuring instruments. Anyway, even if you can, that is the magnitude. So, that small particle is described in the Bhagavad Gita, that na jayate na mriyate. That a small particle has also no birth and death. Na hannate hannamane sarire. It is so powerful that because that small particle is within this body, dehinasmin jatha dehe, it is so healthy, so bright, moving so swiftly, acting so nicely, it has got so nice brain. And as soon as that small particle, atomic particle, is gone from this body, it is useless, a lump of matter. So, if so much power is there for the small particle of the Supreme Soul, how much the Supreme Soul, who is all-pervading, universal form, how much potency he has got, you can just imagine. Therefore Krishna says, Ajopi, although I have no birth and death, Ajopi son Abhayatma. Atma means this body, Atma means this mind, and Atma means the soul. Three things. They are called Atma. So Krishna's either body or mind or the soul. There is no difference. Krishna's body is abhaya. Our body is bhaya. It deteriorates, changes. Ask them to stop or I'll let them back. Our body deteriorates, changes. Just like we are born, a small child, baby, it grows, it stays for some time. Then it makes some byproducts. From this body, we get some children, byproducts. Then we deteriorate in old age, and this body is finished. This is called Sarvika, 6 kinds of changes of material body. But Krishna hasn't got such changes. Krishna's body is abhaya. His mind is abhaya. That means as we have got difference between our soul and the body, Krishna hasn't got that. Abhaya Atma. His mind, his body, and his Atma, his soul, the same thing, are of the his supreme soul, whole. There is no difference between his body, his mind and soul. This is to be understood. Abhaya Atma. Those who cannot understand, they make difference between Atma, Krishna's Atma and Krishna's body. They think, the philosopher, they say that Krishna is God or godly. They have got their imagination, but his body is made of matter. No, that is not. If his body had been made of matter, then how he could remember millions of years ago what he did? We cannot remember even what we did yesterday night or just this morning. We forget. The body is changing. The blood corpuscles are changing. That is scientific. But Krishna hasn't got that. Therefore, he is explaining himself. We can understand Krishna by Krishna's explanation. We should not make any rascal interpretation. Then you will not be able to understand Krishna. Because senses are imperfect. Akaipite deva padam bhujadayam prasadu lesanu grihito eva hi janati tattvam. Like that, you have to understand Krishna from the Krishna personally. That is not possible. One who has not received the favor of Krishna, from him you can understand Krishna. Atapite deva padam bhujadayam prasadalesanu grihito. One who is favored with a little mercy, the lotus feet of Krishna, he can understand Krishna. Bhaktamam vijanati. One who has taken shelter, Krishna, that means he is pure devotee. From him you can understand what is Krishna. Atapite deva padam bhujadayam prasadalesan. Minute quantity of mercy, one who has received from Krishna, he can understand. Here is Krishna explaining himself that what he is. Ajo, he has no birth and death. One who thinks that Krishna appeared and he is now dead. Now another Krishna has appeared. That is not the fact. Krishna is one. He can expand himself in many forms. That is different thing. But Krishna, Advaita, Achyuta, the Ananta Rupa. He has multi, innumerable forms, but still he is one. Advaita, Advaita, Achyuta, he does not fall. Hey, Krishna, suppose Ishvara Sarvabhutam Nirdesho Arjuna Tishtati, because Krishna has expanded himself in many millions of forms to stay within the heart of the living being. That does not mean Krishna has fallen. Abhayatma. He is the same Krishna. There is no difference. Krishna is existing in innumerable universes. Krishna is existing everywhere. Still, he is Abhayatma. From the original Krishna, although he has expanded to millions and trillions unlimited, still he is Abhaya, without any minus. It is not like that. We have got some bank balance and if it is taken away millions times, then it is finished. No. Purnasya Purnameva Purnameva Avasishyati. This is Krishna. This is the Bhagavatam of the Vedanta. Purnasya Purnamada Purnamada. Purna Purnamudachyate. Everything which is emanating from Krishna, that is complete. There is no deficiency. Everything. Janmadasya the absolute truth. That is absolute truth. So, in all the Vedas, Upanishad, Samhitas, the same thing is described in different way. Nitya Nityanam, Chetana Chetanam. In this way, here Krishna himself describes himself that Ajopi and Abhyatma. Abhyatma. It does Krishna's body, mind, there is no difference. Absolute. What is Krishna's body? That is Krishna's soul. What is Krishna's mind? That is Krishna's soul. Or what is Krishna's soul? That is Krishna's body. That is Krishna. Abhyatma. Ajopi san Abhyatma. Bhutan Ishara. Ishara. He is not a living being. Bhutan. Ishara. That is the difference. He is Ishara. We are not Ishara. We may be Ishara. Ishara means controller. But we are not the Supreme Ishara. The Supreme Ishara is called Krishna. Ishara Parama Krishna. We are the Supreme Ishara. The so-called incarnation of God. They declare that I am God. But he may be God. God means a subordinate God. Not the Supreme God. The Supreme God is Krishna. God means controller. You may have some controlling power. Admit it. But you are the Supreme Controller. The Supreme Controller is Ishvara. Therefore, Krishna. Therefore, Krishna says, Bhutan Ishvara vi. Ishvara. All Bhutan. Bhutan means all living entities or everything which has appeared within this material world. Janmadasya Jata is the supreme source of everything. That is also described in the 10th chapter that sarvam pravartate. Everything. Matta paratarmanyat kinchijasti dhanamjaya. These things are described. So we have to accept Krishna like that. And if we make our own interpretation, rascal like, that will not help us to understand what is Krishna and what is Bhagavad Gita. That is going on. Get it? Krishna has no existence. Krishna, there was no Krishna, it is story. There was no battlefield of Kurukshetra. These things are going on by spoken by so-called political leaders and scholars. But that is not the fact. They do not understand Krishna, simply mislead people. Therefore, the world is in chaotic condition. Try to understand Krishna, then your life will be successful. Krishna is explaining. Krishna is so kind that Jada Jada Hi Dharma Sahil explains why he comes. Ajopi san abhyatma bhutana vishwarupi san sambhavan jugu. Just to remind us what is Krishna. Just to teach us, because we misunderstand. We are so fools and doctors. We misunderstand Krishna. We cannot understand. If we simply understand Krishna, then our life is successful. Tattadeham punarjanma naiti mamiti kauntya. The simple thing. Just try to understand Krishna. This simple one thing will make your life successful. So Krishna is explaining himself. Ajopi sanabhyatma bhutanam ishware prakriting swam Prakriting swam. Personal energy. Personal form. Krishna is, he has got his personal form. That Samasundar with flute, that is described in the Brahma Samhita. Chintamani prakara sadama su kalpa vrikka lakhyabhate su surabhira viparayan. He is very fond of tending cows, surabhi raviparayan. Lakshmi sahasra sata sambrama sevamanam govindamadi purusam tamah. Benum kandantam. He is very fond of playing on flute. His eyes are just like petals of the lotus flower. These are described in the Vedic literature. So Krishna is not formless. It is not that the devotees of Krishna, by imagination, they have, as the Mayavadi rascals say, that they have made a form by imagination. No. This is described in the Vedas. So, when Krishna when appeared on this planet, the same thing was visible. Those who have seen authorities, just like Vyasdev, Arjuna, he has seen personally. He has described in the Bhagavad Gita, Parabrahma Param Dhyama, Pavitram Paramam Bhava. Your personality is unknown to the so-called scholars, but authorities like Vyasa, Devala, Nanda, Usita, they accept this form. It is very difficult. These things are there. You'll find in the 10th chapter. So Krishna is not formless, but what kind of form he has got, he is describing himself. Prakriting samadhisthaya. So we are forced to take birth by the manipulation of the external material energy. Prakriti kiramani gunai karamani sarvas. Aham iti manna. We are in the clutches of the external energy, material energy. Krishna has got multi-energies. Shakti vividaivasyati. Maya means energy also. Maya means energy. And Maya means illusion also. And Maya means affection. There are different meanings of Maya. So here we say Prakriting and Maya. Prakriting samadhisthaya. He has got multi-energies. That energies have been divided into three. External energy, internal energy, and marginal energy. That we also will find in the 7th chapter. Parantam, itastu vidhi me prakriting paraprakriti and aparaprakriti. The apara prakriti is this material energy. And the para prakriti is spiritual energy. There are two kinds of prakriti. So, that spiritual, because Krishna is spiritual whole, so his spiritual energy, prakriting sha, that internal potency of the spiritual energy. So his body is spiritual, his body is not material. Therefore, Advayatma, it is imperishable. These things to be understood. Prakriting samadhisthana, sammadhi atmamaya. Again he says atmamaya. He is not forced to take bath by the external energy. He appears by his own energy, internal energy, or spiritual energy. And therefore he is Abhyatma. Ajopi san Abhyatma, Bhutanam Ishwaropi san is still. We should not take Krishna as one of us, because he is Bhutanam Ishwara. Bhutanam Ishwaropi san. Just like a crude example may be given, when there was independence movement, Mahatma Gandhi went to jail. Many big leaders. But there are criminals also, pickpockets and thieves and murderers. If they would think, now Mahatma Gandhi has come into jail, we are the same. We are the same. No. Similarly, when Krishna comes, if the rascals and fools think that Krishna is also like us, as we have come into this material world, they are fools. No, we are fools. Just like criminal, a pickpocket or a thief, a rogue, a murderer, he is forced to. So of course, here, Mahatma Gandhi was also forced, but that is not the case. Because he is the controller. Bhutanam Ishwaropi. The material energy cannot force Krishna because he is Ishvara. He is the controller. A controller cannot be forced. Just like in the British Constitution it is said that a king can do no wrong. Even king appears to done something wrong. He does not come within the law. Similarly, although Krishna has killed so many demons, does not mean that he is criminal. He is still the Bhutan Ishvara. He is still. That is to be understood. Krishna, superficially, he has done so many things which is sinful for others. Just like these are very grave subject matter. This was questioned by Parikshit Maharaj. Parikshit Maharaj, when he danced with the girls of Brajabhumi, Rasa dance. So Parikshit Maharaj inquired from Sukadeva Goswami that Krishna, who came to establish the principles of religion, how he danced with girls and wives of others. That was explained. That Tejiyasana Dosaya. Tejiyasana Dosaya. Krishna danced with others' wife or sister or girls. They were all girls. They came at midnight to dance with him. But they are also not material. That is spiritual. It requires little brain to understand. So, Parikshit Maharaj, Sukadeva Goswami explained that these things should not be considered by the conditioned soul. They should not even dream of this. It is a different thing. And if you think that Krishna has a fault because he danced with others' wives, so he explained the Tejiyasana Dosaya. Tejiyasana, a thing which is very powerful, he is not contaminated. That is the conclusion. Just like the sun soaks water from urine. We pass with the urine somewhere, and the sun soaks the water, the urine. That is poisonous. That is infectious. But that sun does not become infected because he's so powerful. If that is possible on ordinary material things, how much powerful is Krishna? So we should not discuss the Rasa Leela generally, because unless one is advanced in spiritual consciousness and Krishna consciousness, they should not try to understand what is Rasa. It is very confidential. It is meant for the liberated soul, those who are liberated by devotional service. Actually, those who are engaged in devotional service, they are liberated. They are not within the material world. Mancha brahvichari bhakti yogena jasevate. Sagunan samotitaitan brahma bhuyayata. So this Raslila is to be relished by the Paramhansas, liberated soul. Nidvitta tarsai rupagiyamam. Vastava vedam. Dharma projita kaitavatra. Paramanirma sarana. Paramanirma sarana. Vastava bostu vedamatra. So, we should not jump. First of all, we should read Bhagavad Gita very carefully. Try to understand Krishna, what is Krishna. Then we shall be fit to understand what is Bhagavatam. The last conclusion of Bhagavad Gita is Sarvadharman Parityajam Mekang Saranam. If we can surrender to Krishna wholeheartedly, then we become eligible to understand what is Krishna. That is the Bhaktamam Abhijana. If we are advanced in devotional service, then we become fit to understand Krishna. But still, just to make us fit to understand Krishna, Krishna is describing himself what he is. Ajopisan nabbayatma. Bhutanam nisharopisan. Prakriting samadhisthaya. He comes with his own energy. He is not forced by the external energy. We are forced. Prakriti krimani gunai karmani sarvas. As we develop different modes of nature, by the association of this external energy, we get our particular body. Karmana daivanetrena, jantar deho upapatti. But Krishna does not do so. We have to first of all understand it, that Krishna is not forced by karma. We are forced by karma. Therefore, we have got different bodies. But Krishna is not. Although he appears in different incarnations, Kesavadhita Meena Sarira, Kesavadhita Kurma Sarira, Kesavadhita Varna Sarira, Nishinga Sarira. So Krishna, when he comes as a boar incarnation, he is not ordinary hog and pig. These things have to be understood. He is the Bhutanam Ishvara. In whatever form he likes to come, that is his pleasure. Atma-maya. He comes in his Atma-maya, not by force by the external energy. That is the conclusion. We could read the purport.
Lord has spoken about the peculiarity of his birth. Although he may appear like an ordinary person, he remembers everything of many, many past births.
That is the case that he has already explained, that he remembers. Therefore, his appearance, disappearance, birth is not ordinary. That is to be understood. Otherwise, how we can remember? We cannot remember. We do not know what we were in our last birth or millions of years ago. Although we are also eternal, but we do not remember. Therefore, there is difference between Krishna's birth and our birth. When Krishna appeared as the son of Devaki and Vasudeva, he appeared before them as 409. Krishna did not come from the womb of Devaki. You have Most of you have read in the Srimad Bhagavatam, his appearance. He appeared before them, was 409. Then Devaki prayed, "My Lord, you have come. Uh, Kansa is now eager to kill you as soon as a mother." He is speaking simply the truth. The Kansa is now eager to kill you. As soon as he will see you 400, immediately he will kill you. Because as old man and simple old man, the 400 man cannot be killed. But he was thinking that because now you have appeared as 400, you will be immediately killed. Kindly become 200. So immediately Krishna became 200. Therefore, uh, Krishna accepted to be an ordinary child. But he's not an ordinary child. Gone.
Remembers everything of his many, many past births. When he's come, he cannot remember what he's done even a few hours before.
Yeah, that is the difference between Krishna and us. We do not remember what you have done a few hours ago. What is to speaking of millions of years ago. But we take our birth because we are eternal. We have taken many births. That is the difference between Krishna's birth and our birth. Then,
someone is asked, he did exactly at the same time, one day earlier. It's very difficult for a common man to answer with me. He would surely have to dredge his memory to recall what he was doing exactly at the same time, one day before. And yet, men often dare claim to be God or Krishna. We should not be misled by such meaningless claims.
yes. Considering these verses from the Bhagavad Gita, we should not foolishly accept these so-called cheaters as God. That is not very nice thing. These are the symptoms of God. How he takes his birth. Janma karmam me dibbam, jujananti tattva. We should try to understand what is God. We should not take so cheaply that here is God incarnation, here is... No, that is misleading. Then,
But then again, the Lord explains his prakriti or his form. Prakriti means nature as well as rupa, or one's own form. The Lord says that he appears in his own body. He does not change his body, as the common living entity changes from one body to another. The conditioned soul may have one kind of body in the present birth, but he has a different body in the next birth.
yeah, our body, now we have got human body. Now next life, it may be a demigod's body, or it may be cat's body, dog's body. The body changes. Krishna does not Abhaya Atma. That is different. Go on.
The material world, the living entity has no fixed body, but transmigrates from one body to another. The Lord, however, does not do so. Whenever he appears, he does so in the same original body, his internal potency. In other words, Krishna appears in this material world in his original eternal form, his two hands holding a flute. He appears exactly in his eternal body, uncontaminated by this material world. Although he appears in the same transcendental body and is Lord of the universe, it still appears that
How he can be contaminated by the modes of material nature? Because Krishna says that Devi Jesha Gunamai Momo Maya Durattaya Mameva Je Prapadante Maya Medang Tarantite. If somebody surrenders to Krishna, he becomes free from the touch of Maya. Simply by surrendering to Krishna, if one becomes liberated from the clutches of Maya, how Krishna can be under the clutches of Maya? This is foolishness. Those who say that Krishna also accepts this material body, that is not a fact. And another thing is, either the material energy or the spiritual energy, both are Krishna's energy. So even he appears like that, he has accepted the material body. That material body does not act as material body. He can change matter into spirit and spirit into matter because he is the controller, Ishara, Bhutanam Ishara. He can change that. Just like electrician, he can change a refrigerator into a heater and a heater at a refrigerator. Because the same power, electricity is working. He knows the art, how to change it. But we cannot do it. That is the difference between Krishna and ourselves. Hmm. Then,
Although he appears in the same transcendental body and is Lord of the universe, it still appears that he takes his birth like ordinary entity. Despite the fact, Lord Krishna grows from childhood to boyhood, and from boyhood to youth. Astonishingly enough, he never reaches beyond youth. At the time of the battle of Kurukshetra, he had many grandchildren at home, where all he had sufficiently aged by material manipulations. Still, he looks just like a young man, 20 or 25 years old. You never see a picture of Krishna in old age, because he never grows old with us, although he is the oldest person in the whole creation, past, present, and future. Neither his body nor his intelligence ever deteriorates or changes. Therefore, it is clear that in spite of his being in the material world, he is the same unborn, eternal form of bliss and knowledge, changeless in his transcendental body and intelligence. Actually, his appearance and disappearance is like the sun's rising, moving before us, and then disappearing from our eyesight. The sun is out of sight, we think that the sun is set, and when the sun is before our eyes, we think that the sun is on the horizon.
Krishna does not appear or disappear. Our eyesight changes. Just like we are looking through the window, one horse race is going on. When the horse comes before the window, we can see. And when it passes through from our eyesight, we think that horse is no longer existing. But the horse is running. This example should be taken. Krishna is called Nitya. He is taking his birth. He is fighting in the battle of Kurukshetra. He is dancing with the gopis. That is going on eternally. In either of the so many innumerable universes. So the same time, that's like the change of time. Now it is 9 o'clock and in the watch. Now this 9 o'clock, this is now night. The morning 9 o'clock is still existing somewhere. Similarly, Krishna's Leela, Krishna's pastime is going on. Everything is going on at the same moment. Therefore, his Leela is called Nitya Leela. Nitya means eternal. It does not change. Gone.
Actually, the sun is always in its fixed position, but owing to our defective, insufficient senses, we calculate the appearance and disappearance of the sun in the sky. Because his appearance and disappearance are completely different from that of any ordinary common living entity, it is evident that he is eternal, peaceful knowledge by his internal purpose, and is never contaminated with material nature. The Vedas also confirm that the Supreme Personality of God is unborn, yet he still appears to take his birth in multi-manifestation. The Vedic supplementary literatures also confirm that even though the Lord appears to be taking his birth, he is still without changed body. In the Bhagavatam, he appeared before his mother as Adam with 4 hands, like the decorations of the 6 kinds of full opulence. His appearance in his original eternal form is in complete mercy, according to the Lord is conscious of all his previous appearances and appearances, but accomplished against him, against everything about his past body, as soon as he gets another body. He is the Lord of all entities, because he performs wonderful and superhuman activities while he is on this earth. Therefore, his Lord is always the same absolute truth. No differentiation between his form and self, between his quality and his body. The question may now be raised, this is explained in the next verse.
Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Which was the verse under discussion? What is the meaning? Anybody? Yes. tell me.
It was Bhagavad Gita 4th chapter 6 number verse. Ajopi san avyatma bhutanam ishwaro api san.
Meaning?
Prakritim swam abhishtaya. So it means Ajopi san. So Krishna is Aja, is never born. Ajopi san avyatma. Atma means here body. So Krishna's body is avyaya. That is never deteriorates. But he is a Bhutanam Ishwaro api san. He is a like a living entity, but he is a Ishwara of all living entities. Bhutanam Ishwaro api san. Prakritim swam adhishtaya. So he is coming, or he has born out of his own internal potency. Sambhavatma Atma Maya.
Hare. What example did Prabhupada give for Krishna's appearance, disappearance? Yes, bro.
Srila Prabhupada gives example of appearance and disappearance of sun. So actually it is beyond our eyesight. It neither appears nor disappears. So similarly, when Lord Krishna comes, it is like coming to this universe as this particular place, and then while disappearing, he continues his Leela in other places. So as sun does that.
Hare. What is the similarity between us and Krishna? He quoted one verse from Bhagavatam. Manish bro.
Krishna has no birth and death, and we are also unborn. We have no birth and death.
Which verse?
Na jayate mrite va kadachin.
Haribo. What is the magnitude of the soul according to the scriptures? Yes.
It's, the size of the soul. The 10,000 portion of the top of the hair.
Haribo. What did Prabhupada conclude from this description? Very small size of the soul. But, yes, Ujjwal Nilmani Prabhu. And he gave example also, if possible.
Like in geometry,
First explain the concept, then the example.
we cannot measure the soul by our own material, different whatever instrument you have. So Prabhupada was giving example in a geometry, one point is there, that he has learned one point is there, and the mathematicians say that there is no any breadth and length of that point. Similarly, that soul we cannot measure by our this material things, but it can be measured. It has all the power that he can run all the bodies.
Little better explanation. The way Prabhupada explained. Not that it is so small, it cannot be measured. Even if it is measured, Prabhupada said something. Yes, Triban Gopal bro.
If such small thing is so powerful, then how much, if Krishna is Supreme Lord, how much more powerful he is?
That is there, but something more.
Body
Who is
within soul is.
Prahlad Pran bro.
Prabhupada says as a point seems to be that it's not measurable, but it's measurable. Same way the soul may be very, very small, may not be measurable by scientific instrument, but it has a form. It is not as that is no.
Prabhupada said it is not Nirakar. It has Akar. Haribo. If you want to understand Prabhupada, no matter what the philosophy is going on, he will always bring about personalism and a form. Formlessness will be smashed by Prabhupada. So though very small soul, but it has form. It is not Nirakar, as many people think. And then he gave example of geometry. Though the point is, they say it is like without magnitude, but it is still having some magnitude. It has Akara also. And then Prabhupada explained that it is so powerful that because it is small particle in the body, but then it is healthy, the person is healthy, so bright, moving so swiftly, acting so nicely. It has got so nice brain, and as soon as that small particle, atomic particle is gone from this body, it is a useless lump of matter. The live body and dead body. All that difference is made by the soul, though so small, makes so much the body active. And then also he concluded, if this small particle of the Lord soul has so much power, then how much the Supreme Soul? We cannot just imagine the potency of the Supreme Lord. How many meanings of the word Atma Prabhupada give, and what are they? Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhupada has given three meanings for the Atma. One is body, then mind, and then soul.
Hare. What is the difference between Krishna's body and our body? If possible, with Sanskrit terms. Yes.
Krishna's body is Abhaya and our body is Bhaya.
Meaning?
This it is exhaustible, like is it phalan?
His body does not deteriorate.
Yeah, not
Our
deteriorating,
body
yeah,
does.
yeah.
Hare. What is Shadvikar? What are Shadvikar? What is the meaning and what are they? Yes, Balraj Prabhu.
It's basically it's creation, growth, the
Of?
birth
Of
of body.
body.
Yeah.
These are all related to body.
Body. So
Body
there's birth,
takes
then-
birth.
then it grows,
Hmm.
then it is maintained, it gives
Mhm.
some byproducts, then
Mhm.
it diminishes.
One remained, not 5, 6.
6.
It starts dwindling,
Dwindling
deteriorating,
and, yeah,
and then it
it diminishes.
is finished. Hare. Prabhupada said Krishna is Avyatma, that means his body, mind, and Atma, they are all the same. No difference between his body, mind, and soul. And then again Prabhupada brought it to Mayavadis. Those who cannot understand, they make difference between his Atma, Krishna's Atma, and Krishna's body. They think, the Mayavadi philosophers, they think that Krishna is God or godly. They have got the imagination. But his body is made up of matter. Krishna is God, but his body is made up of matter. They separate the two. So the difference between the Lord and us, because his body is the same, so what is the difference between him and us in this context? Yes, Snail Bro.
Because Krishna's body doesn't change, he remembers what he has done millions of years ago, and we cannot even remember what we did yesterday or today.
Hare. And then Prabhupada said, this is all because our senses are imperfect also. So we should not take these rascal interpretations. And then he quoted one verse for how to understand Krishna. How many ways are there to understand Krishna? And what are they? He quoted one Bhagavatam verse. Who can understand Krishna? Yes, bro. Is there somebody behind? Okay. Krishna Kirtan bro.
told us Atapi te deva badam bhujatve. For the mercy of his tinge of lotus feet, you can understand.
Two ways to understand Krishna, either from Krishna himself or one who has got even slight little bit of Krishna's mercy. Athapi teva padambuja dvaya prasada lesha anugrahita evahi. Even little bit prasada lesha, little bit prasada he has got. Mercy of the Lord. Hare. So one more equivalent of the word Avyatma Prabhupada gave, and he quoted from one of the Vedic literatures, part of the shloka. What is the parallel of another meaning of Avyatma? Yes, Tribangopal.
Achyuta, who does
Not that.
in different countries.
Yes, this Prabhu.
He says Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam.
Yes, bro.
quoted Ishopanishad
Hmm.
verse, Purnasya Purnamadaya
Ah.
Purnameva Vashishyate.
Meaning?
So many avatars come from Krishna, but he still remains whole. supreme.
Yes, he doesn't deteriorate, he doesn't diminish. Hare. There is no deficiency. From him, so many universes come and all that, but he remains the same. For what is the meaning of Janmadhyasya yataha, and what another equivalent from Bhagavad Gita Prabhupada quoted for this? Yes, Arvindai Prabhu.
Meaning is that everything is coming from Krishna.
Hmm.
So Prabhupada also quotes Matta Paratram Nanya and one more verse from Bhagavad Gita.
Aham Adirhi
Madhiri Deva.
Devanam. I am also beginning of the demigods. Hare. Prabhupada says, but we make our own interpretation, rascal-like interpretation, but that will not help. They say Krishna has no existence. There was no Krishna. There was no battlefield of Kurukshetra. All these things are going on, and that's why, therefore, the world is in chaotic condition. Try to understand Krishna, then your life will be successful. So Prabhupada said, when will our life be successful? And when will one that will make your okay, anyway, I told the answer. So when we try to understand Krishna, our life is successful. Simply trying to understand Krishna as he is, not the way one speculate and all that. How did Prabhupada explain Prakrutim Swam? Part of the verse. Third line. Prakrutim Swam Adhishthaya. Prakrutim Swam. Yes, Tribhangopal.
Prakritim Swam means his own internal energy. He gave three meanings. That part. Prakriti means energy. Prakriti means illusion. Maya. Maya means Prakriti means Maya. Maya means energy. Maya means illusion. Maya means affection. So he comes by his own potence, energy. So in that way he defines that Krishna takes his own with his own internal energy he comes, and he tells how his own internal energy is divided into three parts. All are his energy only. That way.
Okay, Hare Bol. So Krishna's form, for his form, he quoted some verses, some part of verse from some literature. No other devotee. Yes, Arvind Bro. From Brahma Samhita. Take the mic.
Nam Konantam Ravindadharaya Taksham. That verse, Prabhupada.
Meaning?
Prabhupada is telling, Venam Konanta means he holds the flute, and then Ravindadharaya Taksham, he
Arvindai.
has the lotus eyes, and
Like lotus petals. Eyes are like lotus petals. Okay. Hare Bol. Prabhupada said these are described in the Vedic literature. So Krishna is not formless. The Mayavadis rascals say that Krishna, that they have made a form by imagination. But so much Vedic literature talks about his form. Prabhupada quoted one verse about understanding Krishna. How Krishna is the supreme person is quoted in Bhagavad Gita, which is the verse substantiated by many authorities. Yes, bro.
Aham Sarvasya Prabhu.
Quoted, it's authorized by many other. They tell Krishna is the supreme.
Yes, Narad Muni, Vyasadev, and Asita
Param
Devi.
Brahma, Param
Param
Dhama,
Brahma,
Pavitram
Pavitram.
Paramam Bhavam. You are supreme. Your Dham is supreme. And that is all quoted by Asita Devala Vyasa and Swayam Jaiva also by the Lord himself. Hari Bol. Again, Prabhupada says Krishna is not formless, because they are quoting all that. Prabhupada said there are two kinds of energies, material and spiritual, internal and external. Or when Krishna comes to this material world as one of the living entities, he may be misunderstood. What example did Prabhupada give? What misunderstanding may? Yes, Venkateshwaru. What misunderstanding may take place and what example did he give?
We consider Krishna as a normal human being. We consider Krishna as normal human being. He gave
As one
example-
of the human beings.
One of them. He gave example of Mahatma Gandhi coming to the jail and the pickpocketers in the jail. And the pickpocket thinks that Mahatma Gandhi also did some crime. He is also like us. So Krishna comes on his own free will.
Yes. Prabhupada gave that example and he said, but the difference is there. Mahatma Gandhi is Mahatma Gandhi. But then Prabhupada again said, he was also forced. But Krishna is never forced. Hari Bol. Prabhupada said the material energy cannot force Krishna because he is Ishvara, is the supreme controller. Just like in British constitution, it is said a king can do no wrong. And even if it does, he has done something wrong, he does not come within the law. Similarly, Krishna has killed so many demons, but still he is not a criminal. It's Bhutanam Ishvara. So many things Krishna did could be considered sinful, but they are not so. And when the question was raised, or kind of objection was raised by Parikshit Maharaj, what are the two understandings Prabhupada gave, or two clarifications for not misunderstanding Krishna? Yes.
One is like Tejiyasam na dose. One who is very powerful should not. They are not contaminated. He gives the example of sun. That sun absorbs urine, and still he is not contaminated. But normal, ordinary for us, it is very contaminated. It was just problem. That is one aspect.
That is one.
And this is prophylactic nature. Another is
it requires little brain to understand Krishna, that when he dances with other girls, women, sisters of others and a wife, that is not like our dancing. That is not material, that is completely spiritual. Hari Bol. Who should not try to understand Ras Leela, and whom is it meant for? It's meant for you only, I think. Okay, here. Means the answer is meant for you.
Whom should understand? The liberator should to understand the Ras Leela, and the normal being not be able to understand the Ras Leela.
Those who are not advanced in Krishna consciousness, spiritual consciousness, they cannot. Hari Bol. Prabhupada quoted Mam Chayo Abhibicharena Bhakti Yogena Sevate Sagunan Samatitetan Brahma Bhuyaya Kalpate. Those who have transcended the modes, those are very advanced in Krishna consciousness, liberated souls, they can understand. It is released by Paramhamsas, liberated souls, Nivrutta Tarshir Upagiyamana. So we are not like that, liberated souls. So what should we do? First thing we should do this. Prabhupada said. Yes. We should read Bhagavad Gita. Hari Bol. Prabhupada said, first of all, we should read Bhagavad Gita very carefully. Try to understand Krishna. What is Krishna? Then we shall be fit to understand what is Bhagavatam. And the conclusion of Bhagavad Gita is Sarvadharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Vraja. If we can surrender to Krishna wholeheartedly, then we become eligible to understand what is Krishna. Bhaktyamam Vijanati. If we are advanced in devotional service, then we become fit to understand Krishna. So first of all, we have to understand that Krishna is not forced ... Two words. Yes.
Krishna is not forced to take birth.
Three words you said, no? Two words. Yeah. Again three words. By karma. We have to first of all understand it that Krishna is not forced by karma. We are forced by karma. And then he told that past time Krishna's appearance in the prison cell of Kamsa, when he appeared in the four-handed form, Devaki was like ordinary woman. She thought, oh, if Kamsa comes, he's so huge, four-handed, he will be immediately killed. So better he becomes small-handed, means two-handed. Then Krishna agreed also. And Prabhupada again quoted that we cannot even remember what we did one day earlier. Yet men often dare claim to be God or Krishna. One should not be misled by such meaningless claims. How is there some possibility of Krishna getting contaminated by material modes? If not, if yes, how? If not, what explanation Prabhupada gave with one verse? Yes, Manish or Sham Jagannath.
Never affected by the material modes. He quoted the verse of Daivihesha Gunmai Maya Duratya Mameva Prapadyante Maya Metam Tarantite. So those who take shelter of Krishna, they cross over. No? So how can Krishna be come under the control of Maya?
Hare. Krishna's how his body can function, how it may be misunderstood, but it is not so. Prabhupada gave an example also toward the end of the class. Toward the end means not so much end. How his body functions. His body is spiritual, not material. Yes.
Krishna's body, mind and soul is a soul. Mind is also soul. Soul is also soul.
That
Mind
was
is
told
also
earlier. Yes. One Shambhu.
Krishna's body does not grow beyond the youth, like till 25 years or 25 years.
That is true. Some example. That is correct. Yes.
For Krishna, material and spiritual both are same. Even if somebody claims that he has taken material body, but still it can be spiritualized. He gave the example of how an electricity is neither hot or cold, but it can be used in a refrigerator to make it cold and a heater to make it hot. That way.
So even if Krishna's body first of all is not material, it is spiritual body. But even if let's say it is material body, but this material body will not be functioning like other material bodies like ours. Then he gave example of this. So the electricity is same, but it functions differently in a refrigerator or another heater or something like that. Hare. Okay, so Krishna's Nitya Lila, what example Prabhupada gave? Krishna's are eternal pastimes going on all the time. Yes, Prahlad Prabhu.
Like the sun. Sun is sun sets over here, but doesn't mean the sun is not there. In innumerable universes, some pastimes, all the pastimes of the Lord is happening in some on the universes.
So Prabhupada said that's like it's 9 o'clock in the night here, but the morning 9 o'clock is still existing somewhere else. So like that Krishna's pastimes go on and on. Hare. Ja, ja, Prabhupada, 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 ja, Prabhupada. ग्रंथरा श्रीमद् भगवद गीता की, श्रील प्रभुपाद की, समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे।
मुझे लगा कि अलग कंटेक्स्ट है क्या?